call on all well-meaning Nigerians to join hands with relevant government agencies in the fight against drug abuse.
Support the fight against drug abuse. President Buhari makes passionate plea. Appeal to Nigerians. Receives report of Presidential Advisory Committee on the elimination of the menace.
What remains is actually to implement and workers to also benefit from it.
Federal government and labor union reach a gentleman's agreement on consequential adjustment of salaries arising from the new Minimum Wage Act 2019. Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole wipes out Boko Haram insurgents in their meeting venue in Borno State. Plus, federal government to assist affected Onitsha traders with relief materials as Minister Humanitarian Services visits Otanja via fire incident scene. Good evening. It's a pleasure to have you join me, Jumai Yusuf, on Network News tonight. Reading with me is Jennifer Igwe in Lagos and Dibabri Sedoma is in Port Harcourt. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll begin with President Muhammadu Buhari making a passionate appeal to well-meaning Nigerians to genuinely support the fight against drug abuse in view of its devastating consequences on the socio-economic well-being of the country. President Buhari says winning the war is one of the critical elements of the next-level mandate of his administration. The president made the appeal while receiving the report of the Presidential Advisory Committee on the elimination of drug abuse.
Thank you very much.
The report submitted by the chairman of the committee, retired Brigadier General Buba Marwa, confirmed the fears earlier expressed by the president that Nigeria has a very serious drug problem that must be tackled as a national emergency. The 2018 National Drug Use Survey shows that the country has an alarming drug prevalence rate of 14.4%, almost 3 times the global rate put at 5.5% by the 2019 World Drug Report. The survey indicates that the southwest zone of the country has the highest drug use prevalence rate of 22.4%, with Lagos State in particular having an estimated 2.1 million drug users.
An important and instructive finding by the committee was the lack of cohesion and coordinated response among the different MDAs tasked with responsibilities for addressing Nigeria's drug issue. Nigeria has a brilliant national drug policy, the National Drug Control Master Plan. Yet, there was no real ownership of the country's drug policy. Nobody to hold accountable for the failure of the implementation of the country's drug response.
The committee therefore recommends, amongst others, an urgent declaration of a national state of emergency on the drug use menace, as well as the establishment of a National Drug Control Commission to oversee the nation's coordinated response towards tackling the drug issue.
The committee recommends the formal launch of war against drug abuse. We also recommend a deliberate, concerted, and consistent funding of Nigeria's drug response. For the purpose of this emergency, we suggest that a certain percentage of Nigeria's annual budget is dedicated to Nigeria's drug response. It is that bad.
President Muhammadu Buhari expressed appreciation to the committee for the industry and tenacity put in to carry out the national assignment.
I commend you for a work well done, and I have no doubt your report will provide the platform for a final onslaught of the menace of drug abuse. I specifically commend the First Lady and wife of the Vice President for their initiatives, commitment, and contributions towards tackling the challenges of drug abuse in Nigeria.
The president was emphatic that unless Nigeria is cleared of the worrisome substance abuse, it will be difficult to bring down crime rate to acceptable levels. Correcting the root cause of most of the ills of the society today, President Buhari insists, is a task that must be done.
I am therefore assuring Nigerians and our foreign partners that this is a matter of foremost importance. We will study the report and the recommendations for implementation appropriately. As a government, we have the responsibility to ensure the security and well-being of our people. I call on all well-meaning Nigerians to join hands with relevant government agencies in the fight against drug abuse.
The Nigerian leader also appreciated the support of international organizations as well as all those whose concerted efforts contributed to the successful intervention of the federal government towards containing the drug menace in Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And on a cheering note for Nigerian workers, the federal government and Labour have agreed on 23.2, 20, 19, 16 and 14 percentages for officials on levels 7, 8, 9, 10 to 14 and 15 to 17 respectively as consequential adjustment of salaries arising from the new Minimum Wage Act 2019. This was after several meetings held in Abuja. Austin Anyebe has details.
Having reviewed the increase in the lowest paid person, grade level 08, 20%. Grade level 10 to 14, 16% increase. Grade level 15 to 17, 14% increase.
The minister also explained that the adjustment was made for federal government workers on other salary structures.
The people in this compartment are people on Conhes, Conrise, and the one for the teachers Contis 2, and those for Conwas 2, Conmes, Contedis, and Comcast.
He said similar adjustments were made for personnel of the military and paramilitary, which shall be communicated to them since they were not represented in the negotiating committee. Head of Service and the President of the Nigeria Labour Congress say the percentages arrived at by the negotiating committee is a win-win for both parties.
It was a collective decision.
What remains is actually to implement and workers to also benefit from it.
With the payment template being worked out, implementation of the adjustment is expected to start soon. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has enjoined the Indian government to support Nigeria with technology that will enhance the quality of film produced in the country. The minister made the appeal when he granted audience to the Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria on a courtesy call. Anthony Forson reports.
At Bollywood as a huge film industry in the world being followed closely by Nigeria's Nollywood, it is high time modern technology in the film industry is injected into the sector, as Nigeria, he maintained, has a very rich content.
In terms of the quality of the films, we still need to do much more, and I don't think there's a better place we can look forward to than India for this, given the relationship between India and Nigeria.
The minister said, despite India's huge population, it shares similarities with Nigeria in the areas of plurality of cultures and religion, which will be significantly beneficial for Nigerian cultural officers to understudy.
Nothing binds nation better than cultural exchanges, because you begin to understand you begin to learn from cultural exchanges how actually similar you are, not actually too different. And then even when you are different, you begin to understand your differences, and that makes people to work together.
In his remark, the Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria said, in deepening the ties between the two countries, the Indian Foreign Affairs Ministry is organizing a journalist exposure visit for selected Nigerian journalists to expose them to specific business events in India with a focus on Africa. The High Commissioner extended an invitation to the Nigerian cultural troupe to participate in the Indian African Cultural Festival. He described Nigeria as India's biggest trading partner. He equally maintained that India appreciates the cordial relationship that exists between both countries. In Abuja,
The Ministry of Interior is to develop a comprehensive electronic database of officers of the 4 paramilitary services through a biometric registration process. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, was speaking at the ministry's 2020 budget defense before the National Assembly Joint Committee on Interior. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onko reports.
Ministries, departments and agencies of government have continued to appear before the various National Assembly committees to justify their financial proposals for the 2020 fiscal year. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, was the guest at the National Assembly Joint Committee on Interior Budget Defense session. The minister gave a breakdown of the 2020 budget of the ministry.
To a total of 4,328,030,724 naira only as total budget for the ministry.
To convince your colleagues in the Federal Executive Council to give more attention to security, much more than infrastructure.
The former governor also informed the committee of the ministry's plan to decongest prisons across the country, enhance the capacity of personnel, and give more attention to firefighting through the provision of more firefighting equipment.
There is a waiting trial team. We are working with other relevant agencies, particularly Ministry of Justice, on how to decongest the prisons.
The role of agro rangers should be taken very seriously. I think they can play a key role in bringing peace to this country and maintaining peace.
Budget scrutiny continued with the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talin, as she defended the ministry's 2020 budget of 4.4 billion naira.
If we really want to change the economy of this country, if we want to fight poverty, women and children are the face of poverty.
The budget for women affairs is not acceptable. And we are going to make a strong case that the budget for women affairs is not acceptable.
The Senate Committee on Solid Minerals, Mines and Steel Development had a pre-budget defense interaction with the Minister and Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, during which the committee harped on the urgent need to strengthen the fight against illegal mining in Nigeria. They also drew the attention of the ministers to the state of the Ajaokuta Steel Complex, and the minister responded.
The Russians have shown interest of their own volition to help us to revive Ajaokuta with their own money. They want to put Ajaokuta back, and we are looking at different methods of engaging them. One of such is build, operate, transfer.
I would like to suggest that the ministry identifies very important, lucrative solid minerals wherever they are in this country. And with the support of the Senate, we can cause the presidency to bring about presidential committee dedicated to these different kinds of solid minerals.
Not just to identify all the minerals, but value addition.
The committee also advised the ministry to lay emphasis on the security of mining areas, environmental and health hazard mitigation, and tangible participation by states. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Onko, NTN News.
Removal of oil subsidy or hike in the pump price of petroleum products are not options on the table of government. Minister of State Petroleum Resources Timipre Silva made this clear during the ministry's budget defense before the joint committees on petroleum resources upstream and downstream. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Petroleum resources, the minister said, remain strategic to Nigeria's economy and the livelihood of citizens, which was why government will not relent in coming up with measures to plug leakages, fix refineries, and address challenges in the sector.
I believe that Nigerians are consuming over 60 million liters a day. There's a lot of smuggling. And because the petroleum product is cheaper in Nigeria, a lot of our neighbors are taking advantage of the cheaper prices in Nigeria.
The need to amend some laws governing the industry, such as the Deep Offshore Act, was a unanimous agreement of parties at the budget's defense.
We have demonstrated our readiness and our commitment towards supporting Mr. President achieve his greater vision for Nigeria.
At another budget defense session by Ministry of Interior before the House Committee on Reformatory Institutions. Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola said the Act on Nigeria Correctional Service, recently signed into law, has brought about expansion of scope of reformatory institutions in the country, and this requires funding.
So when you look at what is actually there in totality to service the inmates, you know that already we are working on a tightrope.
Issues bedeviling our prisons are beyond the mere change of name, but of commitment and determination that will cause a positive change in the administration of our justice system.
Controller General of Nigeria Correctional Service, Jafar Ahmed, said the service is proposing a budget of 81 billion naira for 2020. Meanwhile, the House Committee on Solid Minerals, during an interaction, was informed by the Minister Olamilekan Adegbite that despite challenges of illegal mining in the country, the sector is among the most viable for economic diversification.
The World Bank, of course, is supporting this program by having specific projects and programs that will bring mining to fore in Nigeria. The expected outcome is that by the time the project is completed, is that mining will become one of the mainstays of the economy.
Like all of these lapses, getting money out, not getting the intervention fund in, is because the fund is not well structured. Cannot drive the Solid Mineral Development Fund on a part-time basis. So we need to restructure it.
The ministry will appear before the committee next week for budget defense. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali.
Now talking security, more legislations are to be proposed by the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence to complement the commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari's led administration in the fight against insurgency and other security challenges bedeviling the country's socio-economic development. This is the agenda set by the committee chairman Sha'aban Ibrahim Sharada at the committee's inaugural meeting. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Committee members deliberated on various legislative processes towards bringing to an end security threats Nigeria is facing.
It is obvious to state that without security, nothing will go well in even the highly important aspect of our social life, which is religion.
Committee Chairman Sha'aban Ibrahim Sharada urged members of the committee to remain resolute in the approaches of ending national security issues.
The capacity of the National Assembly to provide effective and efficient oversight function over the nation's security, intelligence and defense sector is what now we are longing for, and to initiate reforms to enhance general security operation in the country for the better.
Meanwhile, Chairman House Committee on Northeast Development Commission Khadija Wazir Bukar Abba at Budget Defense says the committee will pay attention to the socio-economic empowerment programs of the commission.
In order to foster a sustainable solution to the problem of insecurity and address the root causes of the insurgency in the Northeast region, a well-structured, holistic and integrated approach is required.
Moving forward, we will do more on development rather than emergency.
Protection against all forms of environmental and developmental challenges, resettlement and integration were some issues discussed at the budget defense. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
You're watching the news on the network service of the NTA. Let's take a pause now. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Golden accessories. I shot so bad.
Mommy, is it not too early to be dressed?
Too early, sure. I don't dance since now.
Okay.
You think I go miss all the small shop? I don't do rishi.
Mommy.
Should be not that take a caterer when they come out, they get side meal you take. And as for my women group, hey, not KSA or nothing at all.
Now when you get out?
You're familiar, Jerry. My picking.
Mommy, your credit still there, so?
Of course now. Now we the first credit like water. You not trust Glow?
Glow and Maple. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555*PIN#.
know where the party they shall let. Stay here.
Unlimited.
The Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, is 30. The NDIC has lined up a week-long celebration of its 30th anniversary from 18th to 24th October 2019 with the theme, 30 Years of Protecting Depositors in Nigeria. High point of the activities include a public lecture titled Imagine Risks and Corporate Governance Issues in Banking and presentation of the book, 30 Years of Deposit Insurance System in Nigeria. Date, 21st October 2019. Venue, Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. Special guest of honor, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, GCON. Guest lecturer, Aigboje, Aig Imokwede. A special anniversary dinner will also hold on the same date at the International Conference Center, Abuja, by 6 p.m. Admission is by invitation only. NDIC, protecting your bank deposits.
Helpline Foundation Nigeria and partners present the 3rd Annual Africa Women Conference, AWC 2019, a gathering of experts, institutions, corporate organizations, and individuals promoting the growth, stability, and development of African women, exploring viable options through which various resources available to African women can channel towards the sustainable development of the continent. Expected participants include wives of African heads of government, female parliamentarians, public office holders, entrepreneurs, and sustainable development partners. Theme, building a coalition to end gender inequality in Africa. Date, 21st to 23rd November 2019. Venue, Kenzi Menara Palace, Marrakesh, Morocco. Chairperson of the occasion, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria. For participation and inquiries, visit www.africa-womenconference.org or call +234 806 5388 424. AWC, building an Africa where every woman's potential is fully harnessed. Powered by Helpline Foundation Nigeria, Echoes Africa Initiatives New York, International Center for Diplomacy, Morocco.
The Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, in partnership with Brandmark Communication, presents the 2nd Nigeria Public Sector Branding Summit and Exhibition. Theme, Shaping the Future of Public Sector Marketing and Communications in Nigeria. Speakers include Dr. Mrs. Falashade Yemiesa, Acting Head of Service of the Federation, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, Director General, National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies, Eni Odibo, Chairman, DDB Lagos. Special guest, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, Honorable Minister for Information and Culture. Participants, officials of federal and state ministries, departments and agencies with responsibilities for communications, media, corporate affairs, marketing, public relations, and digital engagements. Date, 28th and 29th of October 2019. Venue, Shehu Musa Yadua Center, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. each day. For inquiries, please call 080-3314-5691. Announcer, Ijedi Iyoha, Acting Registrar, APCON.
Hello, my name is Dr. Panam Prosipo.
Hi there, my name is Reverend John Oguze.
I want to personally invite you to the Middle Belt Praise Festival. Yes, the first Middle Belt Praise Festival.
God wants us to come together as one and begin to love one another so that He can flow through us to be a blessing, not just to us, but to the rest of Nigeria and perhaps the whole world.
For the first time in over 100 years, the Middle Belters are coming together as one.
We have people coming from every corner of the Middle Belt.
Great music, great praise, and powerful worship.
All right, people of God. Yeah. Come, let's praise the Lord.
All this is taking place from the 18th, 19th, and 20th of October 2019
at the Ecumenical Center right here in Abuja. I look forward to seeing you there.
You are welcome.
Wonderful family, meet our active triplets. Mixology, for example, mixes well with drinks. Then enjoy every quick meal with Slurp It Off. And everywhere you go, there is Go-Gurt. Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power of protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy, Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt, it's all good. Hollandia.
My busy now today or 4 days when my girls won't come visit, and I need to go expire.
Oh, my guys, they can't follow me watch this match. I must not fold the hand. Hey.
Babe, what's happening now? Sorry to disappoint you, but my subscription don't expire.
The match is not on my GoTV package.
Now your holla be that. I beg, give me your phone. Make I show you how you go take do it for my GoTV app for your phone.
Life is so much easier with my GoTV app. Make payments, clear error messages, change your package. You can also check your due dates and keep abreast of your payment history.
With the corner, Matip is there.
The new My GoTV app is everything you need in one place. So what are you waiting for? Download My GoTV app now from Google Play or App Store to enjoy the easy life. GoTV. Live it, love it.
Good to know you're still there and still staying on security matters. A joint patrol team of Operation Lafia Dole and Multinational Joint Task Force have recovered 4 AK-47 rifles, a rocket-propelled gun and one abandoned gun truck belonging to fleeing Boko Haram criminals in Jagalta village near Mongono, Borno State. A statement by the Nigerian Army Operation Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Ilyasu, indicates that troops also arrested a suspected Boko Haram informant at Biumen Motor Park, a logistics supplier at Menahari checkpoint, and a Chadian courier working for the terrorist. In another development, troops of Operation Mesa also arrested a suspected criminal in Abiriba in Ohafia local government of Abia State in possession of locally made pistol and 2 cartridges. Similarly, troops while on routine patrol along Jere, Katari, Kaduna, Abuja Expressway arrested an imposter extorting money from motorists. Meanwhile, troops in the Niger Delta have destroyed 4 illegal oil refinery sites. The Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has obliterated a Boko Haram terrorist meeting venue and neutralized several of their fighters at Ongoshe on the fringes of the Sambisa forest in Borno State. In a statement by NAF Director Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, the attack was executed on October 18, 2019, following successive days of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions. Intelligence derived from the Our missions led to the identification of 2 buildings within Goshi that served as assembly areas for the terrorists, from where they launched attacks against troops and innocent civilians accordingly. The ATF detailed its ground attack aircraft to engage the hideout, scoring accurate hits, which led to the destruction of the 2 buildings, as well as the neutralization of several terrorists. Barely 2 days after a tanker explosion razed over 3,000 shops in Otanja Market, Onitsha, another fire incident involving a petrol tanker occurred in the early hours of Friday, burning dozens of vehicles and about 4 buildings at Omegba Phase 2, Onitsha. Ekene Ndule has the details.
The fire accident was said to have occurred when a tank filled with petroleum products fell off the back of a truck along the Omaba axis of Enugu-Onitsha Expressway and spilled its contents on the road and drainages. The neighborhood woke up around 2 a.m. to witness a huge fire consuming vehicles parked along the road. Fortunately, men of the Anambra State Fire Service arrived on time before the fire could get to a nearby gas plant.
I heard an unusual noise and woke up only to see everywhere red. I looked out from the window. I saw the road burning. Everywhere was burning. We thought it was the gas plant. And we now started running downstairs. Then people were shouting, women were shouting, carrying their children, fire, fire.
I was sleeping. Woke up in the morning, saw many missed calls. Decided to call one. So he just told me that my caterpillar is burning.
However, people living in Omaba Phase 2 were not so lucky, as the petrol that found its way to the drainages transmitted fire to that part of Onitsha. Over 20 vehicles parked in a mechanic's workshop and residential buildings were touched.
The fire is happening at the express. By the time I just got down to the floor, the fire itself has got to the fence here. The man that had a boat hole here were able to open the boat hole.
All this front flat, all the properties inside, especially clothing materials, all bed sheets, all this is affected.
Residents say this is one accident too many and cannot help but wonder if there could ever be a lasting solution to accidents involving petrol tankers. In Onitsha, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Still on the Onitsha fire mishap, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, visited Onitsha, Anambra State to assess the extent of damage and loss caused by the fire incident. Maureen Ezekeke reports.
The minister on arrival visited the Ochanja Market fire incident scene where she interacted and condoled the affected traders. She later visited the OP worker access where the tanker laden with gas fell to assess the situation in order to report back to Mr. President for urgent attention.
We are here on behalf of Mr. President Muhammad Buhari. Since the news of the unfortunate incident was broke, he directed that the ministry should come and condole with the government and people of Anambra State, especially the Ochanja Market people that have been affected by this fire incident.
She said natural disasters can be avoided through mitigation.
I've directed the acting DG of NEMA to immediately send relief materials through the Southeast Zonal Office, Zonal Coordinator, to the affected victims.
Chief of Staff to the Governor of Anambra State, Primus Odili, in his response, thanked Mr. President and the Minister for their prompt response to the yearnings of Anambra citizens during their trying times and solicited the support of federal government in the provision of more fire trucks.
The people of Anambra State are happy that the President, within 24 hours, was able to deploy people that came here to assess the extent of damage and also to give orders that relief materials be sent down to our people.
The minister was accompanied by the acting DG NEMA and other government functionaries. In Onitsha, Anambra State, Maureen Ezekeke, NTA News.
From Onitsha to Yobe State, 9 months after closure for security reasons, the Gaidam Weekly Market in Yobe State has been reopened for economic activities. Governor Mai Mala Buni, while announcing the reopening of the market during a meeting with stakeholders, said continued closure of the market will further impoverish the people and worsen the security situation in the area. Yunusa Suleiman has the details.
These people are not celebrating election victory. These are residents of Gaidam town, located 200 kilometers away from Damaturu, the state capital, jubilating over the announcement by Governor Mai Mala Buni reopening their market 9 months after its closure for security reasons. The governor, the theater commander of the Operation Lapia Dole, Major General Olusegun Adeni, and other top military commanders, as well as stakeholders, reached a decision to open the market that serves as means of livelihood to about 80% of the residents.
In addressing the security situation, closure of the market is not a solution. Sometimes it is better to risk freeing the culprit than to condemn the innocent.
While at the palace of the Emir of Gazargamu, Governor Mai Mala Buni had directed for the recruitment of additional 150 vigilantes to enhance surveillance and intelligence gathering in the community. In Damaturu, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi, has advised personnel of the Corps to desist from corrupt practices and other acts capable of damaging the image of the Corps as well as their career progression. The Corps Marshal gave the advice during his strategic session with the Corps unit commanders at the FRSC Academy, Enugu. Jude Abugu reports.
Reputed for displaying high level of professionalism, discipline, integrity, and uprightness in discharge of their duties, the Corps Marshal expressed worry that some personnel are trying to bring the hard-earned image of the agency to disrepute. He warned that personnel caught engaging in corrupt practices will be prosecuted.
Partnership with ICPC and DSS, we've had some operations now at about 70. The first operation led to the arrest of about 38. The second operation led to the arrest of about 32 with their fifth person who is not a staff. I've discussed with the chairman, they must be prosecuted to serve as deterrents.
The forum, which has the theme Upholding Leadership Excellence for Operational Efficiency, according to Dr. Oyeyemi, is to ensure that all the tiers of the Corps Command remain committed to making Nigeria Road one of the safest globally by the year 2020. In Enugu, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
Tackling fake news and other emerging threats to national peace and development in the country requires collaborative effort to empower credible media organizations. This submission is the thrust of the NTA Abeokuta 40th anniversary lecture delivered by Professor Oluyemisi Obilade of the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Adeni Taiwo completes the report.
The event attracted not only the best in the industry, but stakeholders from different sectors whose interest is to see how to better reposition the television industry to add more value to governance in the country.
NTA has set a new standard in broadcasting, and this is evident in our approach to issues affecting the nation, security in particular.
If NTA is performing very well, it will be able to help our security agents.
You are important because ultimately you are a very, very important bastion of democracy.
A renowned Don from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Professor Yemisi Obilade delivered the anniversary lecture while establishing a nexus between societal ills such as dwindling values, poor leadership, and the media. The Don was very emphatic about the need to encourage and explore the integrity of credible media to better the society.
The possibilities offered by television in effecting social reorientation and good governance is unquantifiable if properly channeled and coordinated.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun wants national interest to be at the center of ethical journalism, whether in the traditional or social media.
Go home and reflect on how to clean the stained side of the new media and aggregate, make it more responsive.
For the General Manager, NTA Abeokuta, Fumi Wakama, 40 is a new beginning for the station.
Comes to social reorientation, rebuilding our value system, we are always in the forefront.
Highlights of the lecture include presentation of awards to deserving icons and organizations. In Abeokuta, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
All appears not to be going well at the Academic Staff Union of Research Institution, ASURI, as a body. The ASURI Reform Group is calling on the Adebayo Ajala-led leadership to give stewardship. This call was made at a media parley in Abuja. Mayor Ogidi reports.
A meeting at Ayuba Waba House, Abuja, tells a lot about the agenda, its labor issue. 9 members representing 30 branches of the Academic Staff Union of Research Institutions, ASURI Reform Group, are here, all wearing long faces, carrying 13-point prepared speech, buttressing their stand on why Adebayo Ajala-led Executive Council of ASURI must give account of its activities. Prominent among the 13 issues leveled against Ajala are financial impropriety and breach of the Union Constitution.
We are therefore left with no other option than to seek redress using all available legal means provided by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and extant labor laws.
Away from the all, I put a call across to Ajala.
For certain reasons, the NEC was not called. But in August, we called a NEC. And we agreed that we are going to do the National Delegates Conference next week, giving everybody 8 weeks to campaign and do whatever. And at that next meeting, I gave everybody equal chance to speak, to say their mind.
For now, both parties are holding on to their points, and the road to resolution of the issues is quite narrow, as confirmed by the ASURI Reform Group. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Time now to link up with Jennifer Igwe in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jumai, and welcome to Lagos.
Now, 9 students of Top Faith International Secondary School, Akwa Ibom State, have benefited from the 5th edition of the National Cradle to Career Program of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation in partnership with Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company Limited. Uduak Etim reports that the program is to complement the federal government's efforts to the implementation of the nation's education strategy.
Targeted at supporting young students to enhance their academic pursuits, the National Cradle to Career Scholarship Program by the NNPC and Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company Limited was launched in 2014, bringing the total number of beneficiaries across Nigeria in the last 5 years to 471. With the enrollment of 96 scholars from across Nigeria in 2019, 9 students were selected from Top Faith International Secondary School, Akwa Ibom State, having passed the common entrance at first-level selection process for this scholarship.
These programs employ competitive and established processes to identify brilliant and diligent
keep supporting to make sure that the operating environment is such that we can continue to operate as a company and continue to give back to society.
During the task ahead, beneficiaries promised to be worthy ambassador of Nigeria, even as parents and stakeholders described the initiative as the right investment in the development of the 21st century education.
The award of scholarship, I think it's a good initiative.
This scheme has really helped her. We say a big thank you to them.
NNPC, in partnership with the Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company Limited, has invested largely in education opportunities ranging from secondary and tertiary scholarships to increase access to quality education. From Esianudum local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
Now, the people of Topo in Badagry are in high spirit as the 2019 Diaspora Festival kicks off amid fanfare and excitement. Dotu Oguyeme reports from the ancient town.
When you hear Badagry, the picture that comes to mind is that of a Nigerian riverine community, a Nigerian border town, and of course, stories of slave trade. The narratives are true, but there are more opportunities to be unearthed from the towns and villages that make up Badagry. There are signs of development and relics everywhere you turn, which is what the Diaspora Festival is exploring. This area in Topo is usually quiet, but the people are out today in celebration.
Cultural dancers, even there are many like Gunuvi, like Borogata. We always do this every year like this, and tomorrow we will be there to participate as Borogata. We drive on the water.
While they are jubilant to see foreigners and fellow countrymen, they are however calling for more attention from government to do more in their communities.
It's Badagry. Our road is not good. We need a government help to help us to repair the road, especially that road there and the market road.
And all our school, we don't have much textbook. That should bought it for us. And notebook, just small one, and pen, finish.
The festival, tagged A Pilgrimage to the Motherland, is the third in the series organized by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
That's a contribution from Lagos. Network News continues after this timeout. Stay tuned.
Now what is it? Emeka, drive the limousine Bugatti, come inside now. Waiting below 200 naira recharge card for me. 200 naira.
Just recharge 200 naira for 1 day, and you say fit follow win for the hundreds and hundreds of heavy prizes like a can of pepper, industrial sewing machine, grinding machine, and generator. Glow, my own done better.
My grinder will go win. Now here I go put up. Make that.
Hey, make una no go recharge you na Glow. I don't win generator. And here, now myself. Oh, the more you recharge, the more your chance the better.
Unlimited. Start your day easier and happier with LG Inverter. Gain peace of mind with an efficient laundry cycle. Feel cooler air even at midday without any worries. Enjoy mealtime with food kept fresh all day long. The LG Inverter enriches your everyday life. Better inverter, LG Inverter.
What's the matter? It's your birthday. Guests are already waiting at the pool.
It's headache, cold, pains all over my body.
Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet and powerful ingredients specially prepared to bring you fast relief from headache, body ache, cough, flu, cold, and fever. Baby, how are you feeling now?
Wow, I feel great thanks to Cold Time Tablet.
Cold Time Tablet also available in syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, your visa to
Strongest, no challenge can stop us. Let Malta goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka. No panic. There's me no panic. You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Press OK.
Wow, now you fit catch all those channels wey be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your groove for no loss. You see as I do am, abi?
And I see as I do am.
Go TV, live it, love it.
And I see as we do am.
What we are really cultivating here is a better future for all Nigerian women, and it's not always easy. Panadol Extra relieves headache, backache, joint pain, toothache, and menstrual pain. The pain is worth it.
Thanks for rejoining us. Depositors are guaranteed security of their money with the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation making big plans for security of financial technology in the country. This is a part of the goodies heralding the corporation's 30th anniversary. Victor Azu reports from a media briefing to mark the anniversary.
Established in 1989, Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation NDIC adopted a propelling philosophy. After 30 years of learning and mastering the ropes, the corporation has worked its way to a compelling success story of standing in the gap for depositors.
To date, the NDIC has paid a cumulative sum of over 8.25 billion as insured amount to 442,999 depositors of closed deposit money banks, paid over 2.97 billion to 83,415 depositors of closed microfinance banks, and over 70.53 million to 869 depositors of closed primary mortgage banks.
Now, that's in fulfilling its core mandate of depositors' guarantee. There are others. In collaboration with the CBN, the corporation takes credit for overseeing the stability in the banking sector, which in turn inspires depositor confidence. Furthermore, I am told that debt collection and asset sales led to the payment of nearly 120 billion naira as liquidation dividends to depositors, creditors, and shareholders of closed deposit money banks, microfinance, and primary mortgage banks. In spite of all these, the NDIC has even bigger plans, a future of enhanced and secure financial technology system.
The intent now is fintech because everything is done online. We are ready and committed to make sure that this will protect depositors in the system and ensure that the system is safe and sound.
A fitting way to end the anniversary activities is Monday's public lecture and book launch on the journey so far. In Abuja, Victor Az.
The Abuja Electricity Distribution Company has launched the first interconnected mini-grid electrification project in sub-Saharan Africa. The electricity project is a tripartite agreement to guarantee 24 hours power supply to Wuse Market, a business hub in Abuja which has been chosen as a pilot. Mitera Ikpen tells us more.
Regular electricity supply drives economic growth with ripple effects on job creation and wealth generation. With periodic power supply challenges from the national grid, the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, has made recourse to the mini-grid energy solution, which combines grid power with electricity generated from solar, backed by Tesla batteries. This innovative energy solution guarantees 24 hours electricity and augments the capacity of the national grid. The signing of this tripartite agreement among the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, the Wuse Market Traders Association, and Green Village Electricity Company activates the project.
The Wuse Market, as most of you are aware, is one of our busiest and most visible markets in Abuja. It's for these reasons that we've chosen this location for our pilot.
This is a framework that will be replicated not just within AEDC, but will show the light to several other distribution companies.
I must say here that I'm proud of the management of AEDC for being magnanimous and bold enough to give GVE this opportunity. Some other establishments will be selfish with what they have, might be too scared of competition, that they won't allow development to come into Wuse Market and the rest of Nigeria.
Expectations are high that this alternative energy solution will reduce pressure on the national grid and fast-track the UN Sustainable Development Goal of electricity for all by 2030. In Abuja, Mitera Ikpen, NTA News.
And Dibabre is standing by in our Port Harcourt studio for reports from that axis. Nice to see you, Dibabre.
Jumai, and welcome to Port Harcourt. The Rivers State government has signed a 21 billion naira contractual agreement with Julius Berger Nigeria PLC for the construction of 3 flyover bridges at 3 strategic locations within the Port Harcourt metropolis. The signing ceremony held at the Executive Council Chamber, Government House, Port Harcourt. Ogediyenkwe completes the report.
The construction of the 3 flyover bridges, Governor Nyesom Wike says, is in fulfillment of the promise made during his second-term inaugural speech. The bridges will be sited at the Rumokoro and Garrison roundabouts, while the third will link the 1st and 2nd artillery junctions, aimed at decongesting traffic in the city to complement existing ones. The bridges, he stated, will be constructed simultaneously and completed within 16 months.
And this job is not less than 21 billion naira. And we're going to pay them 70%. I don't want any excuses. Where the developer say, variation, no variation in this job.
Managing Director of the construction firm said the project will further strengthen the company's partnership with Rivers State government. The governor also played host to the National Assembly Joint Committee on Army, led by Senator Ali Ndume.
Harcourt is secured by the Chief Security Officer of the state. In collaboration with the Army, police, and other security agencies, you have been able to restore what I can say now looks like permanent peace.
The committee is in the state on a fact-finding and needs assessment of all army formations in Port Harcourt. Ogediyenkwe, NTA News.
In a bid to streamline the activities at the OML 53, the Niger Delta Petroleum Resources Limited has entered into a 3-year agreement with its host communities of Omaleru in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State. Ijoma Ogweke reports that the signing of the Global Memorandum of Understanding between the two parties was witnessed by community leaders and government representatives.
The agreement
agreement, which is renewable after 3 years, now permits the Niger Delta Petroleum Resources to commence full oil mining operations in Omerelu community without hindrance from the host community.
I am saying that this is the beginning, the starting point. You know, the company has just been able by seismic discover there is oil there, and so they are going into community to operate now. They are not operated before.
Having put these things together, it will ease the operation and also enhance the capacity building.
The Memorandum of Understanding henceforth serves as a sole document governing the oil company and Omerelu community and mandates both parties to abide by the terms of agreement, which includes execution of developmental projects, creation of job opportunities for eligible members of the host community, and provision of corporate social responsibilities, including scholarship, skills acquisition, and charity works. While Omerelu community on its part will take necessary actions to provide conducive business environment for the operations of NDPR, devoid of interference.
We are very friendly. We have asked them to come. We are praying that they make do with whatever they have seen, get the oil so that we can get the benefits from oil.
It will bring employment to unemployed youths.
With the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, which seals the agreement between the two parties, it's expected that the economy of Omerelu community and the state will no doubt witness improvements. In Port Harcourt, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Still to come, Mrs. Buhari unveils athletes for 2020 World Para-Power Lifting. That's after the break. Join us again.
Thank you. Nigerian First Lady Aisha Buhari has unveiled the athletes that will compete in the 2020 Para-Power Lifting World Cup to be hosted in Abuja next year. Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji reports. Sincerely apologize for the loss of audio in that report. We now have a quick check on the weather.